I realized right after I finished my last video that I talked about nothing but Doctor Who for a very long time, which happens quite a lot, but I suppose I'll make up for it with a more personal video, just to appease all of you terrible non-Whovian people out there, and those of you who are wonderful and already know about Who, but didn't really need the tutorial video that I just gave you. And so, this is how we're going to do it. In the spirit of the Vlog Brothers, this video is going to come to you in 4 parts. Part number 1. Changes. If you haven't noticed, the video looks significantly better right now than it did in my first video, and the second video also looked like this as opposed to the crap that was my first video. I bought a new laptop this week. I found the model that I liked on Tuesday, bought it on Wednesday, and had it in my dorm by Saturday through the power of FedEx. And so now I have this wonderful 720p video camera, which is right up here. And it makes me look a little bit better, and it makes the lighting look a little bit better, and it just generally works better, so that's nice. I've also found a better position for the mic, so you can actually hear me a little bit better, which is also good. Part number 2. I love pop punk. I love pop punk music. I think it's probably my favorite genre, definitely my favorite subgenre. I got into pop punk around the time of Green Day's American Idiot, which was, of course, like the album that made everyone love pop punk because it was the watershed pop punk album of the 2000s. My friend Tyler and I, we've realized over the years that pop punk's history has kind of moved in phases, and each one is headed up by a specific act or album. And so we have this theory that I'm going to impart onto you now about the way pop punk history works, and I'm basically just going to tell you about it for no other reason than its vague interestingness and the number of good bands that I'm going to mention that you should listen to if you don't know who they are. So, essentially pop punk began in Southern California with groups like Green Day and later Blink-182 in the early to mid-1990s. Now, purists are going to start yelling and saying there are other influential non-sellout groups, and I know that, but I'm doing a general overview here, so we don't need to get into like Operation Ivy and all the really deep stuff. I do know about those things, I do appreciate them, but this is surface level. Now, roughly around 1997, there was a brief period called the Summer of Ska, in which ska punk, which is kind of a subgenre out of pop punk, ska punk became big through bands like Real Big Fish, Streetlight Manifesto, Big D, and the Kids Table. They had momentary prominence, but they quickly receded after 1 or 2 hits each, respectively. Then we had the rise of the emo subculture in the early 2000s. This led to an emo-influenced wave of pop punk, which was quite possibly the genre's most prolific period. You had all-star bands like Fall Out Boy, Panic at the Disco, Mayday Parade, All Time Low, Cute Is What We Aim For, etc. And after about 2 or 3 years of this, everything just kind of quieted down. Fall Out Boy broke up, and the other bands just kind of receded into the background. And you had longtime figures such as Motion City Soundtrack that were still there, but they remained kind of underground and didn't really achieve like the Blink-182 level of success. And of course, Blink-182 had broken up at this point. They went on their lengthy hiatus, and so the pop punk movement didn't really have like one defining band. Now, in terms of modern day pop punk, Tyler and I believe that the latest phase in pop punk is this metal-influenced happy hardcore or punkcore or post-hardcore. Our personal favorite, at least my personal favorite group out of this movement is Iron Chic, who, if you haven't listened to yet, their album Not Like This is available for free, and I will link it in the doobly-doo. Punkcore could potentially fill the void left by emo, but the return of Blink-182 with a deeper and more powerful alt-rock sound on their new album Neighborhoods could also kind of sweep pop punk in a new direction. And there's this wave of new surf pop, surf punk, noise pop, whatever you want to call it, that's coming out of different places with bands like Waves and Best Coast and Japan Droids, which could also be the future of the pop punk movement. It's all really contested at the moment, which is actually really exciting for people like me because I love all forms of pop punk and all forms of alt-rock, and so I'm really excited to see what the next big thing is. Part number 2. I've decided to start writing an actual short film again. I wrote one a while back. It was a mockumentary about hipsters, but I never really made it, mostly because the locations I wanted to shoot at never gave me permission to shoot, and so it just kind of fell through. Other than that, my previous work, which I will link below, has been kind of in the music video format, so I really want to do something that's scripted and has like an actual plot line. The piece is still going to heavily feature music because I feel like music is one of the things that really ties film to people and really gives them an emotional connection. My good friend Graham Lang has been kind enough to let me use some of his music for the film, which I'm really excited about. I'll post a link below to Graham's Facebook page where you can listen to his whole album Molehills for free. Fun fact with Molehills, Graham actually recorded and produced the album himself in his home for his senior exit project from high school, and I think it sounds pretty dang good for what it is, and I love the lyricism on it, and it just captures the emotion of the story I'm trying to tell very well. So my question for anybody who watches this, feel free to comment as a video response or just as a comment. What kind of imagery or storylines do the songs on Molehills make you feel? Like, what do they remind you of? No right or wrong answer. Probably won't influence my creative process because I pretty much know where I'm going, but it'd be interesting to hear what other people have to say. Part number 3. My dear friend Wesley, after commenting on my Facebook saying she enjoyed my vlog, decided to start vlogging with me. She's had some technical difficulties with her first few videos with the audio and video being out of sync, but it's a really nice start. She's got a good personality and she's talking about great things, and I think she's going to have a lot of fun with this, and the two of us are going to have a lot of fun talking to each other over this because we live quite far away from each other now that we're at college. So I will link her vlog below. Feel free to check that out, comment on her, subscribe to her, do all sorts of things like that. And I'm sure there will be collaborative video projects between the two of us in the future. So I'd like to thank you all for watching and putting up with my low budget videos for the moment. I know the editing is kind of crap. I'm editing in Windows Movie Maker right now, which I really hate, but because I have a new computer and I just haven't been home yet, I haven't been able to put Adobe Premiere on it. As soon as I do that, I promise my editing will get better. It's just, if you've ever worked in Movie Maker, you know what I'm dealing with. So, thanks for watching, subscribe if you like it, talk to me about what you think of Molehills, and yeah, bye.